And what they've been able to do this season is really insane. And I don't think it's being talked about enough how good this Chiefs team has been and how they've played. What is it, like 18 games now, and have lost two of them, and they've tried in 17 games and have lost one.
Hmm.
So 17, well, I guess it's less than 17 teams, but 17 times teams have come to play the Kansas City Chiefs, and 16 times they've left thinking, man, what else could we have done to beat them? So they're on a roll. I know a lot of people like to talk about how the Buffalo Bills are a hot team. Chiefs were just as hot. I don't
Oh,
understand that. I didn't get it. Uh, they have to create a narrative, though. That's what happens. I'm curious what this week's narrative is going to be, but I was really pleased with how the Chiefs played on Sunday.
yeah, the team camaraderie is just something else. Like I know a lot of teams have that feeling, but with the Chiefs, it just seems like it's at another level. And something about I don't know. A lot of people haven't really been talking about the defense a ton from that game,
Yeah.
but if you take away the muffed punt, the onside kick, a couple special teams errors that put the defense kind of in a bad spot, they only gave up 15 points, and one of those scores was when they were playing prevent in the
Hmm.
fourth quarter. So I mean, that's just another check mark on the defense. It seems like they're getting, I don't know what it is, if it's just the playoffs and the excitement of everything, but it seems like they're just a little bit faster, a little bit stronger off the ball up front, and just getting a lot more pressure on the quarterback. And you could see it in Josh Allen. He was just scrambling, getting out of there, trying to make plays happen, and he just couldn't get it done. And I think that they're going to have to do that against Tom Brady because Tom Brady can't run like Josh Allen. And if they
Right.
can get close to him, he's going to make some mistakes. He threw 3 interceptions against the Packers
Hmm.
on, and they somehow still won that game. If he does that against the Chiefs, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a 2 or 3 score win for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
You give Patrick Mahomes any sort of extra possessions, it's not good for the other team. And the Chiefs have been pretty good at that. They've been pretty good at forcing turnovers. Tyrann Mathieu, I think he has, oh, I want to say it's 6 interceptions in 7 games, or it might be 6 and 8 now.
Hmm.
Because, well, did he get one last week? No, I don't think so.
Fenton got it last week.
Fitton got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Chiefs still been good at finding the ball, getting interceptions, giving Patrick Mahomes more opportunities. And everyone knows the stats from Tom Brady. He's 30th in, I think, QBR when pressured on the blitz. So if you can get
Yeah.
after Tom Brady, he melts like butter. So that's going to be the goal of Steve Spagnuolo and his team. Now we all know Steve Spagnuolo has seen Tom Brady in the Super Bowl before, and he's gotten the better of him. So
2 and
it
0. 2
he
and 0
is.
against Brady in the Super Bowl.
So that's a very big positive. Those are some mega good vibes that when you talk about this Chiefs defense and think about the matchup against Tom Brady, and even the first time when they played the Bucks, they looked really good.
Yeah, they held Fournette in check pretty much for that game, and Ronald Jones.
Hmm.
I don't really remember Ronald Jones being talked about much after that game, but
Yeah, he might have been
um,
hurt.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think he was a little bit hurt that week, but yeah, I saw a stat earlier that the Chiefs defense, however many times they pressured the quarterback, was the most QB pressures in a playoff game since they've started keeping that stat, which I
Wow.
believe they said was in 2009 when they started tracking QB pressures. So if they keep that dialed up and keep mixing in different types of blitzes and things like that, I think that they're going to have a nice game against the Bucks.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I saw another stat from Pro Football Reference or Pro Football Focus, I should say, not reference, um, that said that Frank Clark and Nick Bosa have the most pressure since last season. I can't remember if it's playoff pressures or just pressures in general.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it's playoff pressures,
yeah,
which
okay, that makes sense.
that's crazy for Bosa because he didn't play in the playoffs this year. But you know what? We'll take that for Frank Clark though. He's stepping up his game again.
Yeah, and it's very encouraging to see those front four guys get after it. We saw Chris Jones on numerous occasions just kind of take over drives and say, "Okay, nothing's going to happen here. You guys aren't going to get anything." We saw it happen in the Browns game, kind of on that last drive. Chris Jones single-handedly basically knocked the Browns out of the playoffs
Yeah.
in that defensive drive. And now in this drive against the Bills, you saw a couple times him just absolutely bullying the offensive line of Buffalo, and seeing him play well is just so exciting.
Yeah, you kind of wonder. The Bills, I know you guys have talked about it on the pod earlier this week. They settled for a lot of field goals when they probably should have gone for it.
Mhm.
And you got to think maybe they were a little bit nervous with all the pressure that
Yeah.
like Frank and Chris were getting up there. Like if they don't get any points, if they just give the ball back to the Chiefs without scoring any, then that's kind of the mind games that the Chiefs are playing with all these other teams. So you got to think that the Bucks are probably going to be thinking that they're going to be going for it more often than not when they're on that side of the field. Probably not going to be settling for field goals. And if the Chiefs can get stops, even if they aren't intercepting Tom Brady, like I think they can,
Right.
but if they can't get those interceptions, but they can force them into fourth downs and going for it on fourth down and getting some stops and turnover on downs in that manner, it's pretty much the same thing.